A new connection between an armed robbery in Yuma and the house party mass shooting that happened last month. Good evening, I'm Jessica McLean.
And I'm Scott Gross. News 11's Samantha Bird shares how 3 arrests linked the crimes together.
19-year-old Abram Collin, 20-year-old Angel Ochoa, and 19-year-old Aiden Arvizo were all arrested Thursday after the Yuma Police Department used forensic evidence to connect the armed robbery to the house party shooting. All 3 young men appeared in court for the first time this afternoon.
These crimes are linked together, and it's done through forensic evidence that detectives have been working very hard on since these all began.
19-year-old Abram Collin was arrested and booked for shooting and killing 20-year-old Andy Black Thunder and 19-year-old Danny Garcia at a house party in the Beliza neighborhood on Saturday, May 13th.
They're alleging that you've committed 2 separate offenses, both alleging murder in the first degree.
This in connection with the arrest of 20-year-old Angel Ochoa and 19-year-old Aiden Arvizo, who were each booked on multiple felonies, including armed robbery, aggravated assault, and burglary, which took place near Cibola High School and the Valley Aquatic Center.
We look forward to having a very successful prosecution to make sure that those that are truly responsible for these recent acts are brought to justice. So I'd like to thank the police force for that.
The crimes happened 1 week apart, and police are currently testing the weapons from the armed robbery to see if they were the same guns used in the mass shooting. Mayor of Yuma Doug Nichols shares why police waited to release information on the mass shooting.
Making sure they're not releasing information early, which can be frustrating to the community, but because it builds the stronger case so that justice can truly be served for the victims and the families of the victims.
Abram Collin's bond was set at $2 million cash only, while Aiden Arvizo and Angel Ochoa's bonds were each set for $200,000. The 3 young men will be back in court on Tuesday afternoon to be formally charged. Reporting in studio, Samantha Bird, News 11.
Thank you, Samantha.